Warning, F-bombs are armed and might be dropped. This is a little outside the mandatory carry field, but I believe that we need to start working on our next generation of automobiles, and specifically fuel. All right, some people want to raise minimum wage, other people really don't. And I generally side on the don't raise minimum wage because as you raise the minimum wage, everything gets more expensive. You have to raise it again. The best way to drop minimum wage or to affect minimum wage is not to raise it. All right, that's just a death spiral that it will eventually collapse. It did in Germany, it did in Venezuela, it did in Russia twice, by the way. So what do? Well, the best thing you could do is to drop the cost of energy, and specifically automotive energy, fuel, gas. The best way to do that is to find a new fuel source that is as reliable and widespread as gasoline is. Now, from where I'm sitting right now, but for one tree, I could actually see a gas station. Actually, I could see another one, but there's a couple buildings that way. They're literally everywhere. What would we replace gasoline with? Hydrogen. Hydrogen is actually really, really efficient. When it burns, it converts to water. It doesn't actually convert to carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, whatever the other one is that I forgot. And it's literally everywhere. You can make hydrogen by cracking water. My thought is one or a series of facilities, probably somewhere in Arizona or New Mexico, where the sun is most plentiful and concentrated. Take some of those old solar plants and convert them to hydrogen plants. The solar panels will convert the water to hydrogen, and then it can be piped out to wherever it needs to be. We know that solar plants were a dismal failure. All right, the transmission distance for the solar energy just didn't make it. They just couldn't ever begin to compete. They work great in small areas. Over large areas, they collapse. But if you use that small area concentration and convert it to something else that can be shipped, like hydrogen, it would work perfectly. Now, will there be environmental damage? Eventually, yes. The hydrogen converting to water will eventually cause there to be more water in the atmosphere specifically than maybe there is now. But that'll be several thousand years down the road, because remember, the same water that we're releasing into the atmosphere is the same water we took out of the environment to begin with. Benefits. 1, all fuel prices will go down. That means all other related costs will go down. That trucker who's currently spending $300, $400, $500 at a time at the pump is going to be spending $100, $150, $200 at the pump. That means that each loaf of bread in that truck, or each ton of grain in that truck, is half the cost to ship. The farmer that grew the grain, he's spending $1,000 a month on his tractor equipment. Now he's spending $200, $300 a month. You are spending, let's say, $200 a month on fuel. Now you're spending $100 a month. That $15 or $12 or $8, I'm not even sure what it is off the top of my head, it is minimum wage. Right now, about half of it's actually going to your car. That's the reality. If it was half or maybe even less than half of that, you'd be spending closer to $100, $200 a month versus $300 or whatever it happens to be in your case. Your cost to get the bread went down. The trucker's cost to deliver the bread went down. The bakery's cost to get the wheat went down. The farmer's cost to make the wheat went down. Everybody's cost went down. And that will have an even bigger impact on minimum wage. Keep calm and mandatory carry on.